Welcome to episode 6 of the California Underground. Today I was just going to talk about what's in the news, and I start off with today's headlines. And it looks like the U.S. stock market dropped 1,700 points today. That's about $2 trillion in value. This is the largest drop since we entered the pandemic back in early 2020. So the reason we have this drop is because Donald Trump implemented these across the board tariffs. He's imposing tariffs on, I think, over 100 countries. Russia's not getting a tariff, and Belarus, Russia's ally, is not getting a tariff. But everyone else, including Ukraine, is getting a tariff. And what Trump did is he went on TV yesterday and said, all right, these are the tariffs that they're charging us. And so we're just going to charge them half as much back. So if China has a 60% tariff on us, we're going to charge them a 30% tariff. Now, keep in mind, when I say charge them, it doesn't cost China anything. It's whoever imports the goods from China pays the tariff. And then when they pass that good on to us, we pay for it. So what he's basically doing is creating the largest tax in American history. But the way he calculated is he said, I'm going to go to whatever country has a tariff against us, and I'm going to tariff them back. And the way he calculated the tariffs is not a tariff. What he did is said, if we export $6 to Bangladesh, and Bangladesh exports $10 worth of stuff to us, we're giving them $10 and they're only giving us $6. And so we are giving them, they're only, the ratio is 60%, $6 over $10. And so that's like a 60% tariff. And so I'm going to charge them a 30% tariff. This has nothing to do with anything. These are just made up numbers. Nobody has any sense of what he is trying to accomplish. However, the result of his tariff is a nosedive in the stock market. I thought I was going to retire here in not too long, but if this keeps up, I'll just have to just keep on working. The rest of the world is in a nosedive. They have all types of countries, EU, Australia, Canada, Mexico. They're all in negotiations now. What do we do? We're going to impose counter tariffs, and Trump says he'll counter tariff them. And what happens is, let's suppose the tariffs stay in place for a while. These countries will stop doing business with the United States. So they will all probably turn to somebody like China or each other. And so just think of this as, say, France is a customer of ours. They buy car tires from us. If they decide to stop buying car tires from us, they will start buying them from, say, Italy. So now they have a new supplier of car tires, and we come back in a month or a year or 5 years. We say, hey, we're ready to sell car tires to you again. They're going to say, too bad, we already have another customer. We already have another source of car tires. In my world, it basically takes about 5 times as much money to get a new customer as it does to keep a customer. So right now we have all these customers, or yesterday we had all these customers, and we just got rid of them all. They're all going to go somewhere else. And for us to get these customers back is going to cost us a huge amount of money if we can get them back at all, because they don't trust us. Now, I'm listening to what people are saying about this. All the experts, anybody that's got an education, you don't have to have an economic education. Maybe you went to high school, you know. Everyone is saying that this action is basically insane. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't follow any pattern. Canada's prime minister said, we don't know why he's even doing this, right? Anyway, the people that are on Trump's side are saying, hey, don't listen to the experts. We should trust Donald Trump's instincts. Keep in mind, Donald Trump is possibly the only person that's ever gone bankrupt owning a casino. He's gone bankrupt 6 times. And so just about everything he touches fails. Every business he touches fails or has been found guilty of corruption of some sort. So they're saying we should trust Donald Trump. I don't know that I'm willing to do that. Now, there's an interesting thing I saw yesterday when Trump was announcing these. Sean Fain, who's the president of United Auto Workers, is suddenly a big Trump fan. Trump hates unions, and he's outspoken against unions. But Sean Fain, a union president of the United Auto Workers, is a big Trump fan. He's got this vision that Trump is going to create tens of thousands of high-paying jobs, of dues-paying job members for the United Auto Workers when all these automobile plants come back to the United States. We start building auto parts in the United States. That's just a dream. It's never going to happen. Nobody is going to invest in starting to build a plant in the United States when Trump's tariffs can disappear on a moment's notice. He could call up Italy and have a beautiful phone call with Italy and decide to take away their tariffs. And all of a sudden, getting car parts from Italy now. So these tariffs could go away in an instant. And so no company is going to invest any money to build more stuff here in the United States simply because of these tariffs. It's just, I would bet my house that not a single job is going to be created because of these tariffs. Matter of fact, there'll probably be fewer jobs because of the tariffs. And all of our cars are going to cost more, not because might be American made cars, but most of the stuff inside those cars is built someplace else. We had to pay a tariff on all those. We had to pay a tariff on the steel used to build these cars in the United States. So the average car is going to cost somewhere between $6,000 and $10,000 more tomorrow than it did yesterday. When cars cost more, when anything costs more, the demand is going to drop. So we will be selling less cars. We'll be selling less cars. We're going to make less cars. We make less cars. We shut down factories. We lose jobs. That's what's going to happen. It's not some kind of magical thing where just pop, 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 all these factories are going to start showing up and offering jobs because Trump had a dream about tariffs or something like that. By the way, Congress has the power to turn off tariffs. For for the president to impose tariffs, he has to declare a national economic emergency. Now, keep in mind, The Economist, the premier magazine in the world on the world economy, is called The Economist, and its cover, I think it was the last month of 2024, talked about how the Americans' economy was the envy of the world. This was just like 3 months ago. America's economy is the envy of the world. This is the cover of the Economist magazine. So now things are kind of going south. We don't look like we're doing that. It just took 2 months for Trump to kind of ruin anything. But Congress can come in and say, hey, I don't know why Trump declared an economic emergency when we are the envy of the world. We are going to declare the economic emergency over and all the tariffs are gone. Congress can do that, and they need a simple majority. That's all they need is a simple majority. So they went to the Senate, which has more Republicans than Democrats, but just by a small amount. And when 4 Republicans sided with the Democrats, the Senate had enough votes to have a majority say, we declare the economic emergency is over. So now it has to go to the House of Representatives, where they have a very slim majority there, Republicans as well. And Republicans would need to vote on this, and it's very, very likely that several Republicans will say, I'm voting in favor of it because I want these tariffs to end. However, in anticipation of this, the Speaker of the House a couple of weeks ago passed a resolution that said one session of Congress shall be deemed a day in Congress. Doesn't matter how many days Congress is in session, that session is deemed to be one day. So Congress, everything that Congress does between now and the end of the year is considered to be one congressional day. The reason he passed this ridiculous measure is because when this bill comes from the Senate over to the House and says the Senate thinks the economic emergency never existed, or if it did, it's over. Now we want you in the House to vote on it. The House doesn't want to vote on it. However, they're required to within 15 days. However, if one day lasts to the end of the year, they will never hit that 15-day mark, so they will never vote on it. They won't even take it to a vote to get a simple majority. So just to be clear, the world is in an economic crisis. The United States lost $2 trillion in value today, and it's just going to keep going. All of our customers are gone. All the countries that were our trade partners, they're leaving. They're finding new alliances. Even if we fix it immediately, they're still not going to trust us. So a lot of damage is virtually permanent. However, we could turn the ship around right now. All it takes is for the Republicans in the House to say, we're going to take a vote, and the majority of the people in the House of Representatives will determine the outcome. That's all they have to do. Have a vote, and they won't do it. So it's the Republicans in the House of Representatives that are enabling Trump to total the United States economy and the economy of the rest of the world. So that's the big news today. There's other news. I mean, there's Elon Musk is out there right now going, hey, I think that this election that for this Supreme Court judge in Wisconsin was fixed. What's your evidence that the election for the judge was fixed? Well, I lost, and I shouldn't have lost. I should have won. So because I lost, it's fixed. That's Musk's rationale. And he does stuff like this. It makes me think that he's just not that smart. We tend to think about people about Elon Musk as being some kind of genius, something. And he's had some business success, but he's been very good at making investments and surrounding himself with good people. I've talked to people that have worked with him, and I said, "What's your impression of Elon Musk?" And their first words out of their mouth are, "He's a rageaholic." That's the first thing they say. Is he smart? Yeah, he's pretty smart. He didn't invent Tesla. He didn't invent electric vehicles. He didn't invent PayPal. He didn't invent rocket science. But he did was enough of a capitalist to get the money going in that way. So there's nothing. There's a book out right now that says nothing of all Elon Musk's money, none of the intellectual property that generated that money actually started as a thought in Elon Musk's head. The book is pointing out that Elon Musk is of average intelligence. And I kind of think that. I just look at the way he says, I don't understand how people don't like me. Yeah, it wasn't a Nazi salute. It just looked just like one, but it's not a Nazi salute. And I think everything that Trump is doing is correct. And he just says things that are just wrong, just for the average person can see it wrong. So Elon Musk has been dropping. Um, my esteem of him has been dropping pretty steadily, along with the rest of the country's esteem of him for some time now. Anyway, I think that's enough talking for today. I just want to put this out here. If you voted for Trump, or if you voted for a Republican that's in Congress right now, all of this mess, you own it. You own it. I don't want to hear, I didn't know he was going to do this, because we all knew he was going to do this. So this is on you. Thanks for listening.